Welcome to the Bourbon Van. I'm Phil.
I'm Julie. We're in the Redwoods National Forest, and I love it here. Big trees. Big flavors probably in this glass.
I hope so.
We don't know.
Yeah, can't wait to get into it, though. If it's your first time joining us for 5 Sip Friday, we nose the glass, take 5 sips, try and figure out what the heck we're drinking, say whether or not we like it. Ultimately, it is revealed, and this one comes to us from our friend Julia K.
Hey, thanks so much. And this is our first 5 sip from Julia.
First anything from Julia. So wonderful. Thank you so much for being so generous. Looks beautiful.
The color is spectacular.
It's running all over the glass. It's sticking to the sides, and who wouldn't be excited to have a sip of this? What do you say we get right to the nose today?
Yep. Ooh.
Crafty. Very crafty.
Caramely, brown sugary, rich.
Have we gotten any of these right lately?
I don't know. I feel like we've done 50-50 this season, and those are pretty good odds.
Yeah, but when we missed this year, we have missed badly.
Wow. Different.
It's grainy. And I've been all over the map this year when it comes to naming what the grains are and what type it is, but this smells like corn to me.
Yeah. It really does have a crafty smell to it. I think it's just farmy, but not in like a stinky farmy, but more of just like an airy grains.
Yeah, it's not like stuck in a barn. It's not that grassy thing I sometimes get on a weeder. Enough talk about the nose.
Let's drink it.
Cheers.
Let's start the weekend. This tastes familiar to me.
Right off the bat, it actually reminds me, wow, did that go fruity on the backside. Interesting. The longer this one lingers on the tongue, the more I like it, and it's hanging around.
There is a dark cherry note, but there's also like a molasses. There is a grainy presence here. Man, maybe it's like a wheat or an oat almost.
There's something a little... Is buttery the right word? It's almost salty.
Yeah.
Interesting. You know what? It reminded me of something right off the bat, and now it's gone. But I wanted to say what it was. Candy corn.
Ah, I love candy corn. Waxy.
Yeah, most people aren't that crazy about candy corn, but I like it too. Interesting. I haven't had that sort of candy corn reaction to a whiskey in a long time. There's not that many that I have.
Yeah. This took you on a bit of a ride because...
Yeah.
That first initial sip, flavors immediately came to mind, but then the flavors changed and
radical shift.
Yeah, the entire time. So sip number 2?
Yes.
Might be right on the sweet corn. There is a very heavy grain presence on this.
The nose, as you get your nose into it, it's very unusual. It smells buttery. And usually it's the texture of butter. This actually has the smell of butter. This is weirdly satisfying. I feel like it shouldn't be, but it is.
I'm going to stick by the fact that this tastes familiar to me. I don't know if we've had this, but I feel like we had to have had this brand. I think you're on to sweet corn. I think this is a pretty high corn volume on here. Yeah. But the butteriness, there is like a popcorn butteriness, saltiness to it too.
There's movie theater type of thing. And now on the nose, I just keep going back to it, and I'm getting graham cracker too.
Yeah.
This is a very, very interesting whiskey. Great 5 Sip Friday sample so far. I'm back on the nose again. We should do sip 3.
Yeah, I was just thinking we need to move it along. I have 2 things in mind right now.
Yeah.
2 brands in mind right now.
Interesting.
I'm not going to try to tell you where I'm going, but there is a Frey Ranch quality to this.
Yes.
That farminess. But also it reminds me of Branch Point, which is an Oregon-based craft distillery, and they do the Triticale, or Triticale.
Yeah, Trit whiskey, yeah. That's a wheat-rye hybrid for those of you that don't know.
Which isn't corn,
and why would you know?
But it's a very distinctive flavor, and this feels like something that I've drank. I've said that 3 times already, but it really feels like something I've had before.
Sip 3 had a dirty, earthy quality coming through, and I could buy into either one of those. Both of those, Frey Ranch a little larger, but still I would qualify it as a bit of a craft distiller just because of the way that they do things. And wow, this is an interesting whiskey.
I never come up with I mean, I'm never right when I pick an actual distillery, but for some reason, those two came to mind.
This is interesting. Sip 4?
Yeah.
All right.
I could be convinced this is a rye.
Really? Yeah, I mean...
A rye hybrid.
It does have a spice to it. You know what's interesting? We were talking about that sort of popcorn note, how it was almost buttery, almost salty. There's a black pepper here, too. Mm-hmm. That I really feel like it suits this sip. I'm not that crazy about black pepper being, that spiciness that you find in your whiskey. I like it here. It suits it. I don't know. The candy corn flavor has sort of gone away now. That's not as intense as it was earlier. Now it's more earthy, actual grain that I'm getting.
I'm definitely getting that sweet corn grain, though.
Yeah. I'm digging it, though. I don't know how you're feeling about this one, but I like that it's transitioned from really sweet to a bit spicy, but that buttery saltiness is still there.
It's not very fruit forward at all. To me, it is all this. The sweetness comes from either a sweet corn or something else. Something, that butteriness. Maybe there's molasses and honey.
It's a little mealy.
Yeah.
We're on sip 5, huh?
Sip 5.
All right.
Yeah. Now there's got a little bit of cinnamon there.
This is actually starting to remind me of something else. I was going one direction, now I'm going the other direction completely.
Wow, this last sip tasted...
Oh, wow.
This last sip actually tasted like cinnamon candy, which tasted different than before.
It really, the transition of flavors here has been incredible.
Yeah, I do like this. So we do like to talk about whether we like it or not. And one, great sample.
Yes.
It's very familiar to me. I do feel like we've had this, but I like the flavors and I like trying to figure out what this is.
Well, it's gone on such a ride that I'm eager to find out what it is, because whatever it is, I want to get a bottle of it. I want to sit around with a group of my friends around a campfire, sip it, and just let it change from person to person, sip to sip, all night long, because I feel like this is one of those interesting whiskeys that would hold your attention as long as you sit with it. Totally enjoying it. I'm on the same page as you. All right, we are going to deliberate for just a second. We'll be right back with our guesses.
Do you know I forgot about the proof? Didn't even think about it. 5 sips in, didn't even think about it.
All right, here we go. We both have guesses. We've both gone totally different directions.
Yeah.
Go ahead, lay it on us. What do you got?
So I'm going to go with Branch Point. I'm going to go with the Triticale. I think they do a bottled and bond. I'm going straight 100 proof on this. I can't imagine that Julia would have a Branch Point bottle that's based in Oregon. I don't think it distributes very far, but who knows? Maybe she's trying to trip us up in our own state.
Exactly, yeah. She's trying to throw curveballs. Well, I've been going all over the map, and I'm about to pull the trigger on one of these. The candy corn flavor. I was racking my brain. Where does that come from? The only one that I remember off the top of my head is Whiskey Acres from Illinois. They have their bourbon. We had a single barrel that was like a caramel covered candy corn.
Yes.
It was awesome. I don't think this is that.
Oh.
The further that we went into this one, the more unusual the flavors became.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of one whiskey that, after all that talk of corn, I went the other direction.
Okay.
This reminds me a lot of J.T. Mellick from, I want to say...
We did the rice wine one.
The rice whiskey.
Oh, rice whiskey, sorry.
Yeah. It reminds me a ton of that J.T. Mellick, which I think comes from Louisiana.
Huh.
So I'm going to go J.T. Mellick.
Love it.
I don't think this is 100 proof. It drinks a little lighter than that to me.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 96, and I'm going to say it's a rice whiskey.
Great.
And I will say that I really enjoyed this. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's a great sample. Thank you so much, Julia. First...
I honestly can't wait to find out what this is. I want some of this.
So we've got our trusty envelope.
Love an envelope.
On the back she said enjoy, and I think we did.
We absolutely did. Thank you so much to Julia for this sample. It was honestly a great 5-Sip Friday sample. And whatever this is, if you haven't tried it, I highly recommend it, especially if you like a whiskey that changes and takes you someplace, because this was remarkable. Did you get this?
Oh, wait, you went away from this.
Come on.
Whiskey Acres, DeKalb, Illinois. This is awesome. Blue popcorn bourbon, which we said it had like a popcornness to it. 4 years, 75% blue popcorn, 50% soft red wheat, 10% barley. Hope you enjoyed it. You should have stuck with Whiskey Acres.
That's got to be the most specific
That's amazing.
flavor
I feel like you
notes
can still
that I've
get it.
ever pulled out of a bottle. To call it popcorn, buttery, salty. Is that why they call it blue popcorn? Does it have those flavors?
It says blue popcorn bourbon. Yes, it's made from blue popcorn. This 4-year, 97 proof. We were right in the middle. You said 96, but you get it. This 4-year, 97 proof offering showcases aromas that take you to a movie theater. Caramel apple, toffee popcorn, and fruit candies complement the rich, warm oak and vanilla notes that finish with complex wood finish. I know that you guessed that, but then went away from it. But literally, we said popcorn, we said movie theater, and you picked Whiskey Acres as basically the first one you wanted to go with, and then changed your mind.
All right. Well, one last
I'm
thing.
taking it. That's a great one.
I'm completely upside down on this one right now because I liked this whiskey so much. It's the second time that I've had a whiskey. This is only the second Whiskey Acres we've ever had. The one was a bottle that was a single barrel that we loved. I'm really enjoying this. You said you enjoyed it too, right?
Yeah, I just am over the moon. I love when,
right.
Even if we stray away from the right answers, I'm taking Phil's we. I feel like it was a slam dunk. We did great.
I'm so speechless right now, and that doesn't happen often here on the Bourbon Fan. Well, Whiskey Acres, we hope you're watching. We hope you know that we've enjoyed everything we've had from you. And hey, we're heading to the Midwest in the fall. Maybe we'll have to stop by and check you out and see what else you got to offer. Thank you so much to Julia for this sample. Thanks to Whiskey Acres for making great whiskey. Thanks to all you for watching, and we'll see you next time here on the Bourbon Van from wherever we are.
To wherever you are.
Cheers.
Cheers. I feel like we did pretty good.
This was amazing.
Enjoy the Redwoods.